If I can for sure, all the good love when we're all alone. Keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
Hooked on a Feeling, Blue Suede. Here, Dan, RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. I honestly have no idea what I called this show. I say called in the sense that it's in the past tense because you're listening to it, and I would have already have named it by that point, but when I'm recording it, as of right now, I have no idea what I'm calling this show. Has to kind of do with, again, being the 15%. I just worry about the 15%, and I know I shouldn't, and I'm so sorry I keep worrying about the 15%, but it's so important to have, in my mind at least anyway, and I've got one currently, man, a backup plan. You got to have some sort of, just in case your plan A doesn't work out, or that person's not really good, or they don't choose you, or whatever. I believe anything's possible. Again, I'll say it 1,000 times, but I've definitely had times in my life where it's not worked out. One example I'm going to share, and again, I'm grateful, and that's the point of this, grateful that it didn't work out when I think of where I am right now relative to where I would have been for sure down that path. For sure down that path, there would have been a very, very different road, without a doubt. Things would have changed immediately in my life to such a degree that I wouldn't have been able to get where I'm at. So essentially, when I got back from Tennessee, I'll do my story first, I guess, because I've also got a listener one. I'm doing two at the same time. When I got back from Tennessee, met a really, really amazing woman. She had a couple kids. We hit it off just beautifully. We worked together. There was just an instant chemistry. It was fantastic. And as it turned out, long story short, because I don't want to drag this on longer than it needs to, but it ultimately, when it came down to whether we're going to make a choice in life, she ended up deciding that she was going to stay in the situation she was still in. And I got sort of pushed aside. It worked out well where she picked up kind of a different job at one of the different buildings, so I'd still get to see her occasionally. We were still friends. We were still very cordial to each other. But it was over. There was no moving on. There was no trying. I didn't make a lot of efforts. It was very simple. I mean, I cared dearly about this person, but it was over. There was no point in fighting it. So kind of threw up my hands, let it go, and so be it. Well, a lot of things had happened career-wise. Like I said, I would have gone down a very different path had her and I got together. She had a couple kids. My whole focus would have instantly have changed to daddy. And they were younger kids for that matter too. So again, that didn't happen, kind of allowed me to keep kind of going down the path that I did. I ended up kind of spiraling into IT, started doing this YouTube, met some people doing voiceover stuff. I mean, again, I had a background in radio, so I was like, all these doors were starting to open in my life after her. And then through all of this, I end up meeting my significant person now. And that has been an accelerated curve for me, getting to the next place. So we'll see exactly where I get from here, but this is a very different scenario and a very different feeling. Like I've never felt like this, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I really, really look forward to finding the answer. Like I've told everyone, that is ultimately I have to know what's behind this door. I have to know, and hopefully whatever's behind this door is going to be happy to see me, frankly. But I'm definitely going to look into it. All right, so we had a viewer too that kind of went through something very similar, and that's why I think it was kind of cool to share these, because this is like both of us going through a very similar scenario, and life sometimes presents us with different opportunities, and we need to be open sometimes to that. I don't know what else to say. So here it goes. I understand completely what you are saying. I had this issue before my person. I was totally and utterly fixated on getting the other person with complete tunnel vision. I mean, nothing could dissuade me. Nothing. So I thought. I just knew it was right, and it would take me days to tell you of all the scenarios and things I thought and was trying to do to make it happen. I ignored the things that didn't set well with me, the reality. Now, I do believe anything is possible, but there were a couple of things that I knew were telling me, don't be so closed. I even got tired of trying to do it, but kept on ahead anyway. Maybe because I thought, well, you said this is the person and I was looking for that person. I guess I was always just looking for him. Whatever, this person I was always looking for. Right, you just tell yourself these things, right? So right in the midst of this, I guess, God, the universe, said, oh, geez, let's help this poor girl out. I met my person in a way I never imagined. When I tell you I flipped my world upside down, wow, I'm beyond happy the gifts I've been given. I'm beyond grateful. Come to think of it, I think God, universe, coaxed me slowly to my person because whilst trying to get this other person, I started looking at other, let's say, metaphysical stuff. That led to something else, then finally to the law of attraction and meditating and self-love. It was a plan for me, a trip. I had to go on. When I was ready to travel, God, or universe, set me right in front of my person and started on this journey. I'm doing so many things differently now, and I am better for it. I truly feel beyond blessed that I didn't get that other person or a couple of others I thought it was. I laugh with joy that the universe has my back in such a great way. There's so many people that have been in the same situation where we were 100% sure that who we were in love with was everything, was it all. Even still from where I'm coming from right now, where I'm as sure can be, I am not closed to the possibility of what could be until I am sure that her and I are in agreement that we are joining and forming a unity. That's the only way this can be. And again, with anyone else out there, if it's not gotten to that place yet, being completely closed to anything else is kind of scary because there's so much in the world, and it doesn't have to be another person, but even if you go on one date and go, wow, but you had an experience and you learned something. Being completely closed, that's not even possible. We've got to be open to possibilities. It doesn't mean, again, I'm not saying you're not getting your manifestation, but if I was to pull people out there that were in long-term manifestation cycles, I would bet money that a good portion of them did date at least once while going through that whole process. Sometimes it helps us know for sure. That way, that's one question you don't have to ask. So hopefully this makes a bit of a difference. No idea what I'm calling this, but you'll know when at this point you'll especially know what I'm calling this. We are going out with another song here. This will be. Did I get this right? I hope so. Yeah, Rascal Flatts, My Wish. It's Dan Radio Style.